Tamil Nadu. Enchanting Tamil Nadu.
Well, with that, we move on to our next panel discussion. Tourism is one of the most crucial sectors of India's economy. It generates millions of jobs, and not only in the formal sector, but also in the informal sector. Our next panel talks about my mantras for a tourism revival in the post-COVID economy. I'd like to invite Mr. Vikram Kapoor, Additional Chief Secretary, Tamil Nadu, Mr. Vishal K. Dev, Commissioner cum Secretary, Department of Tourism, Sports and Youth Services, Odisha, and Mr. Jinu Devan, Commissioner Tourism, Gujarat Tourism, on their strategies to revive tourism in their respective states. Well, tourism undoubtedly is one of the most crucial sectors, one of the growth drivers for the economy. Overall, 12.19% of the total employment is generated through this sector directly or indirectly. And much like many other sectors, COVID-19 has literally taken the breath out of this crucial sector that creates a lot of jobs in the formal and in the informal sector. To decode how this sector is going to revive itself in a post-COVID world, we have with us three stalwarts from three different states that are all very, very beautiful. Let me begin by welcoming Mr. Vikram Kapoor, Additional Chief Secretary, Tourism of Tamil Nadu. Then we have with us Mr. Vishal K. Dev, Commissioner cum Tourism Secretary of Odisha, and Mr. Jinu Devan, Commissioner of Tourism from Gujarat. So thank you very much. And we are doing this conclave virtually because of COVID-19. Otherwise, we would have had you with us in Delhi, and we would have been sitting with a live audience and doing this conversation. But perhaps the topic would have been different at that time. So I want to begin let me begin by asking Mr. Kapoor on, how severe has the impact been on the sector in your state?
First of all, thank you for inviting me to this panel discussion. We'll straight away get to the point. There's no secret that among all sectors, the worst affected by the COVID lockdown has been the tourism and hospitality sector. And while we don't have exact numbers as of now, but a large number of the workforce has been rendered unemployed. And this would span hotels, restaurants, tour operators, travel, and the host of other services that come along with this industry. When we went in for progressive unlockdown, one of the last sectors that were opened up was this sector. And even now, though we have opened up the hotels and restaurants for business, there are hardly any footfalls. And the estimate by the industry is that it would take over a year and possibly 2 years for it to come back to pre-COVID levels. And definitely this year, the industry is likely to incur huge losses. They have been making representations both with the center and the state government for certain reliefs. But unfortunately, because of the stressed financial situation of the government, it's not been possible to immediately provide them any significant relief, either in terms of waiver or deferment of taxes, duties, and other dues. The MSME package that was announced by the central government, I believe, has yet to be availed of, and there is lack of clarity whether this particular sector can avail the benefits under that package. While those kind of supply side situation, measures have the industry and are being examined. Unfortunately, there is not much that could be done in terms of demand revival, because given the fact that most of the people have lost jobs, or those who have retained their jobs have seen a decline in their incomes. So the disposable income available now with those who used to traditionally patronize this sector is low. And even as people come out of the lockdown, it's not very likely that they would prioritize expenditure, spending on either tourism or on other hospitality services. So therefore, it's going to be a very, very long haul ahead for this sector to revive.
I just quickly want to go on to Mr. Diwan right now. Mr. Diwan, what's been the Gujarat experience? Because Gujarat tends to be more proactive in containing a fallout. Does the state have the resources to give a bailout to the sector, and any backup plans that you've thought of?
Just like Vikram sir was mentioning, the tourism industry is one of the worst hit, and the story is same in the state of Gujarat too. As far as our state is concerned, mainly our tourist flow has substantially reduced, and as a result of that, the hospitality as well as the tourism industry is badly hit too. Almost just a tentative this thing by the FAID. They have said, they are almost saying that the loss is almost to the power of 30,000 crore to 40,000 crore, and almost out of the 1.5 million people who are employed in this particular sector in the state of Gujarat, around half of them might have lost the jobs too. So our immediate attention is on reviving this sector and how we can do. The state has come out with a common bailout package for all the industries in general, but as far as the state of Gujarat is concerned, no specific package for the tourism sector has come. It has been announced. But for us, our priority is basically giving importance to the marketing side and to come out with some new packages for promoting such locations within the state of Gujarat, which can attract more demand to the state from the cities of the 4 main cities and the towns of Gujarat, as well as from nearby states. And importance is also given to the skill development sector to adapt to the changes of the industry, so that once this unlocking is going on and the industry comes to almost to a normal, they should be also able to adapt to that particular situation. And meanwhile, we have come out with 2 policy packages, one in the form of a heritage tourism policy package 2020, as well as a revised homestay policy package to boost the industry, and we are almost on the verge of coming out with a new tourism policy too. So in those policies, we can expect at least some sort of a bailout. I cannot say 100% bailout, but some incentives and concession to the industry will be definitely made available.
Okay. Mr. Dev, what's been the Odisha experience? How bad is it over there? And how much of your economy is dependent on tourism?
Ms. Punj, Mr. Kapoor and Mr. Diwan have given a fairly comprehensive overview of how badly the tourism sector has been affected. The story is not different in Odisha. Hotels have been closed for a long time. Restaurants have also been closed. And what is important to note is that unlike many other sectors of the economy, let's say industries have started and the demand would have picked up immediately. With tourism, that fear of people, those apprehensions of whether it is safe to travel, etc., is something which will kind of lead to a longer recovery time. But at the same time, I think I am very hopeful that things will revive early. We even had the Governor of RBI saying a couple of days back that tourism might just see a V-shaped recovery. And we had done Eastern India's first glamping festival at Konark Beach. It became hugely popular last year. And we want to now replicate it to 4 more destinations apart from Konark. So before we started on that, we did a demand survey of whether people would be willing to travel. And we are very encouraged by the response of the people. We got about 81% people saying they would want to come back. Similarly, Condé Nast Traveler carried out a survey wherein about 80% of the people say that they miss travel more than anything else. So these sentiments, the wanderlust, I think, will hopefully see that the industry, the economic sector recovers faster than what is being expected.
Okay, so I just have this question. It's been almost 6 months now, and there was a lockdown for the first 3 months, and then after that, there's been a staggered opening. There's again policies. Tourism has been one of the last sectors to open up. What's the reason? Why is it that even the states have not addressed the pain in the sector proactively? Like the center has not come out with a stimulus package, yes, but even the states. While talking to three of you, I get a sense that there has been really no help that's been extended to this sector. What's the reason for that? Would you like to start, Mr. Kapoor?
Yeah, so as I was mentioning, the states are also under deep financial stress. Revenues are not forthcoming, and therefore most of their effort has been towards the challenging the pandemic, spending on the pandemic, and therefore there is very little fiscal space available with the states right now because of the poor revenue collection. That's one. And even in terms of giving waivers, say for electricity bills or for property tax or any kind of deferment, would impede the capacity of these parastatal bodies to service their sector. So everyone is under financial stress. So there are limits to what the states can do in terms of providing fiscal or financial support to the tourism industry.
Okay, but can we address this creatively? For instance, you incentivize industry to open up, and you incentivize them to adapt to the new normal. Like Mr. Dev was pointing out, that their survey showed that there is a lot of pent up demand, which is true, there is. So somewhere one gets a sense that there is also a lack of confidence amongst people, because we don't know how, if hotels or smaller boutique properties will really take into account the new COVID norms. So are we looking at addressing the problem from a facilitation point of view, from adding more transparency, getting businesses to, instead of saying that don't serve alcohol or don't open up, how about approaching the problem from the other point of view, saying that you open but with these conditions, and you inspire the confidence of the consumer, Mr. Dev or Mr. Devan, whoever wants to take this.
I think that's a very valid point, Ms. Punj. You see, proactively, we did a few things, not just about the waiver, but yes, bar license fees have been deferred, and we are actively considering on 3 proposals. One is billing them on actual consumption of electricity, deferment of property tax payment, and also deferment of license fees payment, bar license fees. So these are things which are more direct, but what we have also done is we started discussions with various stakeholders, and we started COVID specific training programs. So we've got an IHM here, we've got an Institute of Tourism and Travel Management along with them, because there are a whole lot of hotels and restaurants which cannot afford to train all their employees. So we've taken up this training program, on COVID protocols and guidelines for the entire sector, hotels, restaurants, people who work for them. This is being funded by us. We also have a very strong component of ecotourism within Odisha. So we've got roughly 50 nature camps across the state, which are managed completely by the local community. And a substantial percentage of the revenue also which comes to these ecotourism properties goes to the community.
Okay.
So the training of these community also is being done along with IHM and IITTM. So those kind of initiatives, yes, we've taken also for drivers of Uber, Ola, various registered travel agencies. We've taken up training of these people also, and this is something which is continuing.
Enchanting Tamil Nadu.
Are you ready for Odisha? A journey into the heart of eternal wisdom awaits you. Engage with our monuments of peace, rekindle faith, immerse in cultural expressions. Come, explore our timeless secrets. Come to Odisha, India's best kept secret.
मैंने जो कुछ दिन गुजरात में बिताए वो उम्र भर मेरे साथ रहेंगे। गिर का शेर आंखों से आंखें मिलाकर पूछता है, कौन हो बेटा तुम? तुम्हारे जैसे बहुत देखे मैंने। सोमनाथ के मंदिर में शिव के सामने नतमस्तक होकर मैं अपने सभी डायलॉग भूल गया। धोलावीरा और लोथल में हमारी सभ्यता के पद चिन्ह, द्वारका में कृष्ण की लीला और साबरमती में बापू की आत्मा। कहां मिलेगा इतना सब कुछ एक साथ में? कुछ दिन तो गुजारिए गुजरात में।
Mr. Diwan, anything that Gujarat has done for the people who've lost their jobs, to for the industry, so that they are better geared to cope with the challenges of the post-COVID world?
In terms of the fiscal term, this thing, just like every industry was given the incentive in terms of property taxes or electricity duty deferment, the tourism and hospitality sector too got the benefits of them for the initial 2-3 months. But our concentration was more on the capacity building side. And just like you are also mentioning, to build the confidence among the customers. We were, from the first day itself of the unlocking, where this hospitality industry was allowed to reopen, thus SOPs of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, once they had come out with it, we also published them. We made it known to all the people of the industry. Specific training programs were held for the staff of those particular hotels and the other restaurants. Mm-hmm. And we initiated such training programs. And we also came out with some specific campaigns on those lines, so as to instill that confidence among the public that most of these hotels, almost all of them who have been opened, they are following these guidelines. Now you are safe to come back. Even for big pilgrimage sites, like we have got Somnath, Dwarka, Ambaji, big pilgrimage sites, also they were also following these specific guidelines. So we also made specific campaigns to ensure that people to visit such sites also. Okay. And regarding one or two, there were specific ecotourism sites which are near to the bigger cities. People really wanted to go because there is a particular site which is almost 1 hour from Ahmedabad, where ecotourism site. On Saturdays and Sundays, you can now almost find 50,000 plus people. They just want to reach there. So that demand is there, and people are now, they are willing to come out. So our now priority is to ensure that all those COVID unlocking related guidelines are followed in such locations. Yes. And they...
So there are 50,000 people going to that place now. Wow, my God. Yeah. Okay.
Today, the collector is even taking a specific meeting to tackle the situation. He was just calling me from there to ensure that how we can properly guide them, to ensure that all the safety and these health-related guidelines are followed in the proper manner there. So we are providing them with all the facilities there, the infrastructure there too.
Okay.
So that they can come back.
Anything that you think that the center can do to help the sector across different states? Mr. Kapoor, I'd like to begin by posing that question to you. Anything that you think that the center can do to, stem the decline?
So, as I was mentioning, one is, of course, that the package that was announced for the MSME sector, that would be utilized for extending support to the hospitality sector. Treat them like an MSME and give them the various financial packages that are available. Mm-hmm. But coming back to the demand side, although it's very heartening to know what steps Odisha is taking, and in Gujarat what's happening, our experience is that although SOPs are now in place, yet people are not very willing to travel. One, of course, is that Tamil Nadu has been one of the worst hit states, and therefore it's been slow in allowing people to travel across districts for fear of infection, and people themselves are a bit more cautious, in traveling. So in order to actually give them the confidence, I think we need to kind of incentives even for the domestic tourists. International tourists will take some time to come in because of the general, restriction in the international travel. Even domestic flights are limited right now to this part of the country. So what we can right now do, the low-hanging fruit, is to kind of target the domestic and within the state or neighboring state people who can travel by road and who can visit places. But for them, I think if the central government can come up with an aggressive program of giving discounts for travel, discounts in terms of the rentals, in terms of the ticketing and all, some kind of financial package which will boost that demand. Unfortunately, the state governments don't have that kind of fiscal resources right now to provide that subsidy. But subsidized travel, I mean, I just would like to mention, for example, the central government and certain state governments provide leave travel concession to their employees. The idea is to allow them, to encourage them to travel at the cost of the exchequer. Likewise, it won't be a bad idea if the central government could think in terms of a special scheme which will allow people to travel by availing certain discounts if they travel during a particular period to certain destinations. It always happens. Like, for example, religious pilgrimages are always, a lot of them are subsidized by the central government. Likewise, I think there's no harm if the central government also thinks of some special scheme, maybe over the next 1 year, not a perpetual scheme, but right now to give that boost in the demand. Unless you give some fiscal sops to people, it's very difficult for people to set apart their limited disposable income on hospitality.
Fair enough. Very quickly, Mr. Dev, your thoughts in on this? Anything that you feel that the center can do to encourage, to give the sector a boost?
I think Mr. Kapoor mentioned a couple of things which I completely agree to. So what has happened is that most of the states have, under the austerity measures that have been taken, they've done away with the LTC for 2 years. I think that's a very retrograde step, I would say. And, the issue of creation of demand is very important. LTC is a great way of encouraging people to travel. And I think it will increase the demand within the country. More and more people would travel. So that is one aspect which can be done. And, restoring flight connectivity, train connectivity at the earliest, the pre-COVID levels. Of course, adhering to all the guidelines and protocols that have been specified. Those are very important. And I think the package that has been announced by the central government for the MSME, there's no clarity on how that will apply to tourism. So some vague statement was made that tourism industry, MSMEs would also be applicable, would also be covered under the scheme. But I think more clear guidelines have to be brought out. And it should be included in the scheme.
Okay, Mr. Diwan, your thoughts?
Yeah, maybe the tour operators are one of the worst hit. So we can think of giving them some sort of a soft loan kind of thing, a working capital loan kind of a thing, so as to make them come out of this particular issue. And one thing Sir was mentioning about flight connectivity to specific tourist locations, just like Rann of Kutch, from important cities of India, some UDAN kind of scheme, some BGF model can be thought of whereby we can bring more people to such destinations. So if some sort of a BGF model more on the same line of UDAN can be thought of, more people may be attracted to go to such locations, especially which are remote in sense. Maybe Rann of Kutch in Gujarat or Jaisalmer in Rajasthan, such kind of locations. I think state of Kerala had come out with a working capital loan kind of thing to its tour operators and others in the hospitality sector. So in the banking, central government can think of announcing something on the same lines to the industry as such.
Okay, very quickly, one key mantra for reviving tourism in the post-COVID world. Very quickly. I'll begin with you, Mr. Kapoor.
One key mantra, according to me, is to incentivize demand, boost demand by providing direct incentives to consumers. So find some schemes, some models by which actually you can put money in the hands of potential tourists and link to actual, spending in the hospitality sector. Okay, Mr. Dev, your thoughts?
I think each state needs to go back to the drawing board to figure out what its strengths are and how to move forward when post-COVID world. So we've done that And a couple of things that we've come out with is, we all know the people would be reluctant to travel by air and by trains for some time. So road travel has to be encouraged. We already come out with a campaign called Odisha by Road, and we'll be launching it on the 27th September, World Tourism Day, where we've worked out itineraries from cities close by to Odisha. So let's say Jamshedpur and Ranchi in Jharkhand, Vizag in Andhra Pradesh, Raipur, Raigad, Bilaspur, etc. in Chhattisgarh, and Calcutta, of course. So we worked out itineraries from all these cities, and these are fairly detailed itineraries. They have, where if you want to take rest, if you want to eat, what other places. So very comprehensive program. We're also launching a campaign with Car and Bike India.
Okay.
We're calling it Kalinga Ride. So, specific components of the third was the eco tour I mentioned.
Right.
It's a big priority for us, because with the change in people's preferences and the frequency of travel,
Sure.
they want different experiences, want to go back to the nature.
Okay.
So there are 4 or 5 components, and we've also suggested to the government of India that perhaps states need to tie up with one another. So we have tied up with Gujarat. We signed an MOU sometime in January this year for encouraging travel between the 2 states. So Gujarat promotes Odisha within Gujarat. We promote Gujarat within Odisha.
That's
So similar arrangements for regional long duration circuits can be worked out among different states.
okay. All right,
That will be
Mr. Khan,
possible.
very quickly, your winning mantra.
Yeah, focus on local tourism and full-fledged campaign to instill confidence among the potential consumers so that they can visit. And thoda hatke socho, or maybe think of for something like wellness tourism, eco tourism, adventure tourism, where people are confident that only few people will be available there, so they are safe and secure there.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. We do hope and that things are better and we are able to travel across the country. Thank you very much.
मैंने जो कुछ दिन गुजरात में बिताए वो उम्र भर मेरे साथ रहेंगे। गिर का शेर आंखों से आंखें मिलाकर पूछता है, कौन हो बेटा तुम? तुम्हारे जैसे बहुत देखे मैंने। सोमनाथ के मंदिर में शिव के सामने नतमस्तक होकर मैं अपने सभी डायलॉग भूल गया। धोलावीरा और लोथल में हमारी सभ्यता के पद चिन्ह, द्वारका में कृष्ण की लीला और साबरमती में बापू की आत्मा, कहां मिलेगा इतना सब कुछ एक साथ में? कुछ दिन तो गुजारिए गुजरात में।
To Orissa, India's best kept secret.